I'm Elizabeth Bethany, but I am so excited to have Janelle Monae here in the building. Hey.
Hi.
First of all, you're just a superstar. So to have you here on the couch, I appreciate you coming by. You've obviously done movies and shows and now back to the music. So after having the year like you had in the movie world, do you have to like switch back into kind of like focusing on music, or how does that work?
Well, I knew that I was supposed to do this album before my first album, The Archandroid.
Okay.
And so I knew this was going to be my third offering. I'm happy I did the films. I grew up acting and singing my whole life. I had great supportive parents, thank God, who after they worked long and hard would still take me around to arts programs. And so I've never felt like I had to choose. It's all about timing and just making sure that when it's time to focus on album, you shut down. When it's time to focus on film, you just shut down.
Yeah.
And I think doing Moonlight and Hidden Figures, two films that I feel incredibly proud to be a part of, two films that touched my heart when I read the scripts immediately, and I said, you know, if given this opportunity, which I was, I should do this. I should be a part of helping tell these stories of people whose stories are often erased and are not often told. So I think that it's just really about making sure your schedule aligns and you have necessary conversations to make it happen. But I think it can happen. Yeah.
Yeah, and both those movies too, like you said, telling stories and whatever, and I think just being huge voices, which you have kind of always been. I think you've used your platform to just help other people out and kind of teach the world, really.
I've tried. I mean, I just try to walk in my truth, and if it resonates and you know, hopefully it does, other people feel inspired to walk in their truth. But I think it comes from a very honest place here first. Yeah.
You said too that you knew you were going to do this album before you did your first one. Mm-hmm. Explain that. Like, how much did you know you were going to do? What is that thought process? Why are you waiting to do this third one instead of doing it first? How do you think about all that?
I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. And I knew that I needed to, in terms of the amount of, the level of conversations I wanted to have. I needed to live. I needed to also execute, because I wanted to do an emotion picture, which is like people will say is a visual album or a short film. And we did that with Dirty Computer. The world was always in my mind, in my head, and I didn't want to release it without having the album to complement the 48 explicit minute version of Dirty Computer. Mm-hmm. It's a whole near future science fiction narrative that involves Jane 57821, played by me, who lives in this totalitarian society where her memories and her dreams are all being ripped from her, and she's trying to hold on to her essence and to her identity. So it was important that we took the necessary time to make that happen.
Did you know even back then that you were going to do an emotion picture or something of the sort too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
I didn't know that it was going to, well, one, I didn't know that the events of like having everything happened, from the political climate to, you know, having this particular president in office, you know, to women's rights being trampled on, you know, having the marches and being a young African-American woman growing up into today's society, being a young African-American woman growing up in today's society, you know, strip away Janelle Monae, the artist. Like, I'm a young queer black woman who are parents of what would be considered the poor class. My mom was a janitor. My father worked at the post office, was a sanitation worker. So these are real issues that matter to me. And I had to figure out a way to articulate them as they started to happen, when you feel like, you know, the people that you love are not being taken care of, mm-hmm. And are not considered when it comes to lawmaking and when it comes to you know, making decisions on behalf of the country, yeah. Which is a company as well. But yeah, so all these things really mattered to me, and this album dealt with them. Some things were unpredictable, but some things were pretty much so in my heart this whole time, and I just had to make myself available.
It's almost like you subconsciously knew that now would be a really great time to kind of talk about all this stuff in depth. Maybe, or maybe you're just waiting for your right time, like with your...
Yeah, you just move when I say to every person and artist, move when you're ready.
Yeah.
Don't feel pressure to do anything until, it in here you feel it. Your inner compass tells you, your soul clock tells you it's time. And I just felt like I have a responsibility, not to say that everybody should feel this way. I didn't always know what my purpose was, but now that I feel as though I know what it is that I'm supposed to be saying and doing at this time, I just hope that it reaches the people that it needs to reach, all the dirty computers around the world. I just want them to feel seen, heard, celebrated. This is for us.
I think it's part of what makes you so strong too is that I mean, even you saying like, now that I figured out my purpose or what I'm supposed to be talking about, so many people on this earth don't know that. Like, I'm very confident in myself, but I have no idea what my purpose is yet. So like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be talking or spreading. So it's really awesome for you to be that aware of all that.
Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do after this. Honestly, I don't have all
6 album ready.
Totally not. No. It's really about just being in the present.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, being in the present and not looking so far in the future that you forget, the beauty around you, that you are not engaged in the conversations around you. That was important too, to not worry about the presentation. I wanted to make sure I had the emotion picture of the album. Now that it's done, it's like I'm ready for tour. I'm ready to connect with the people that this album was made for. That's my purpose right now, and I think sometimes it changes. I think it changes. It'll vary. I don't know what the hell I'm going to be doing next project, next album. I hope that I get the opportunity to put out another album.
Yeah.
You just never know. You never know where things could go.
They said that you and Beyonce are leading the pack for a new language of Black womanhood. That's a really powerful thing too. Oh God, I should have wrote that down.
That's okay.
But it was an article that I read, and it was just talking about how with her Coachella performance and things like that.
Which was amazing, brilliant.
Right. And then just the way that your album is so openly speaking, and you have been lately too. It's just kind of, and your Reddit, your Ask Me Anything too. I was looking through that, and you had people being like, I'm a Black queer kid with autism, and they said that like your album is getting them through. That's got to be a lot for someone to deal with, and I would think like being paired up too with Beyonce and kind of leading a pack like that would be just, I don't know, hopefully you feel that you are worthy of that.
Yeah, I love Beyonce. She's a friend, she's like family. I love her, and I'm a supporter of her. She's opened up a lot of doors for me and for other women, black women in this music industry and women in general. I was so proud, to watch her Coachella performance. She helps us all be greater than we even thought we could be because of her excellence, and it's always an honor to be mentioned in the same sentence as somebody like that, as her. And so, again, I just try to walk in my truth, to be as open, as honest, and as vulnerable as I can, without giving away too much of my personal life. But yeah, I really feel thankful that whoever wrote that, would look at the work that I'm doing and think that it meant something enough to even write about.
Yeah.
That's always a humbling recognition.
Especially with like other headlines right now, people are doing everything they can to label you one way or another. Do you put labels on anything yourself, other people? Like, what would you label yourself as if you do? Or do you just like not want to pay attention to stereotypes or labels or anything like that?
Well, I think I've been very vocal. I consider myself to be a free fucker.
I think we should all be free as mother effers.
I think that's the thing, that I subscribe to most.
It's a good label.
I don't get really caught up with the titles and the labels and, reading whatever. I think that, again, it's about walking in your truth, and it's really none of my business what anybody, has to say. I think it's important that you stay balanced as an artist. For me, I have to stay balanced and not get too high, not get too low, not pay attention to anything other than what I'm supposed to be doing. And I have a tour. I got so much shit that I need to focus on that I haven't even looked at,
That's good.
any of that. So it's great. I wanted to reach who is supposed to reach.
Yeah.
And I think they
It's doing
understand
that. I think that, yeah. So I actually was in New York for when they did that little listening party for you. And what I took away from that too, that first listen of some of your new music, is you're not put into one genre right now. Like, I don't think, because you had some stuff that was very poppy, like Make Me Feel. And I'm going to forget titles now, but then you had some other stuff too that was like way more hip hop leaning. And I just like that you very much, I don't know, like, is there a certain kind of vibe that you like making more, or is it just like whatever is feeling right now?
Well, it depends on the project and what it is that I'm trying to say. I mean, I'm not interested in like recreating past albums.
Right.
I think like as I'm evolving, it would be counterproductive to go back and try to reimagine my albums or what worked then. Yeah. I think it's about taking risks. It's about, again, walking in your truth. I don't make pop songs. If my story becomes popular, if my freedom of expression becomes popular, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really, really awesome. That's a great thing, but that's not what I'm thinking about. I don't make rap songs or hip hop, or I don't go in saying I want to make.
Yeah.
It's just, what muscles do I need to use to get to where I'm trying to go, to give people as much insight as possible into where I'm coming from. Mm-hmm. What is needed. And I just kind of do what is needed for that particular project, that particular album. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, when I say pop, I don't mean like just the popular stuff. I don't know. I don't even know how to classify different music at this point anymore.
I know my favorite artists, from Prince to Madonna to Michael Jackson to Janet Jackson to TLC. At one point in time, I guess maybe they were considered to have made pop music, but that music, it wasn't because it was considered that it resonated with me. Yeah, I always loved the worlds that they created, the fun that they would have in the songs. That's the other thing that was important to me. It was important on this album to have fun. This is a celebratory album.
It is very fun.
Yeah, I tried to. So I hope people are having fun when they're listening to it. That's my hope.
It was also, and is, and in your shows, I'm sure too, watching you have fun to this, that's what's so exciting as a fan, to like see you enjoy what you've made so much. And so hopefully, when people are going to the shows, they can get all those vibes. And
I think I'm here July 20th at Anthem.
Yes.
Is that a new place?
It is new, and it's
fresh,
large and beautiful, and I don't even know how to explain
Yeah,
more than
I'm
that,
ready.
but it's right on the water
I'll see
too.
you guys hopefully in July on the 20th at Anthem, and we'll have an experience. I'm coming ready to party. I'm definitely excited about touring. That's what I'm focused on right now.
Well, I am excited to see your show here, and I appreciate you sitting down with us and talking about this album and Dirty Computer. Real quick, though, just for people who haven't explored all of the emotions that are kind of coming out in this, why Dirty Computer? What is that name? Where did that come from?
Well, Dirty Computer is a word that represents the marginalized, my brothers and sisters in the LGBTQIA community, minorities, immigrants, women, women of color in particular. I can go on and on and on and on. But dirty computers are told that they are full of bugs and viruses, and they need to be cleansed. And dirty computers see their bugs and viruses as attributes, as features.
Yeah.
So this album is for all the dirty computers around the world. I hope you feel seen. I hope you feel heard. I hope you feel celebrated.
Yeah, I like when you explain the whole like having bugs or whatever and viruses. That.
I mean, and then I can get deeper and say like I feel like we are CPUs. Our brains are CPUs.
Oh yeah.
We're transmitting information. We're uploading. We're downloading information. And we come from the dirt. You know, once I go to another frequency, in my opinion, this body of mine will go back. So it's not about getting rid of the dirt. It's embracing it, even if it makes others uncomfortable.
Also, I feel like there might have been a little hint that the next project will be called Walking in Your Truth.
Walking in your truth. Hey.
Thank you so much,
Not so bad.
Janelle Monae, for coming in. And make sure you check out her shows and her Dirty Computer album. And if you have not seen Moonlight or Hidden Figures yet, both incredible
Yes.
movies. So do
Thank
that
you.
as well.
Thank you, though. Yes. Watch those films. It was an honor to make them. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me.
No, thank you for coming in.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you for matching what I
Yes.
had on.
I tried to match you.
Yeah.
I mean, you are the black and white queen.
Right. You went all out. I mean, I told you we were wearing stripes and you did the nails,
I did.
the
I
earrings.
did my nails. I did this. I did all of this. Listen, when I show up, I'm going to show up.
Right.
For you.
She doesn't go halfway. She puts the matches on her sunglasses, which you might not be able to see there, but they're
I don't
incredible.
have any makeup today. It's just a mess.
Well, that's great. You
My
can just wear
makeup artist
sunglasses.
was just not here. So I had to just wing it today.
That's sunglasses. That's all.